Hello, my name is Carmen, and I'm going to be talking about children's media use and how kids learn from what they watch. I'll be diving into the topic of the social learning theory as well. This presentation was made for parents and caregivers of young children who regularly watch TV, YouTube, or other forms of digital media. Many parents have probably noticed their child repeating a phrase from a show, maybe a cartoon for example, or a child may start acting out something they saw on any other digital media platform like YouTube. This shows how easily children pick up behaviors from media. Media is a major part of many children's daily routines today, especially with the rise of streaming platforms and short content. Since children are constantly exposed to media, it is very important for parents to understand how these experiences can shape behavior, learning, and development over time. This presentation focuses on social learning theory developed by Albert Bandura. This theory explains how people learn behaviors by observing others, especially when they are seeing those behaviors being rewarded or reinforced, rather than only learning through direct experience. First, I'll explain the basic ideas and key concepts of social learning theory. Second, I'll connect the theory to children's everyday media experiences, and then I'll provide real-world examples that show how media influences behavior. Finally, I will offer practical strategies parents can use to guide their child's media consumption in a positive direction. Albert Bandura came up with the social learning theory in the 1960s to explain how people learn from both direct experience and watching others. This means that you can learn just by watching someone else do something. One of the main ideas behind this theory is observational learning. This means that people can learn certain behaviors by watching how other people do them, even if they don't do those things by themselves. Modeling is another important part of this theory that talks about how people copy the behavior of others. Children might look up to their parents, teachers, friends, or even fictional heroes on TV as role models. The second principle of this theory is vicarious reinforcement, which means that kids tend to copy behaviors that other kids are being rewarded for. For example, a child would learn that they would get good results if they help someone else if a character is being rewarded for doing so. Bandura also talked about the 4 main steps that people need to take in order to learn. These steps are paying attention, remembering the behavior, doing the behavior again, and wanting to do the action. The social learning theory is very relevant to how kids use media because they learn from what they see on TV, YouTube, video games, and even social media all of the time. Children pay more attention and remember what they saw better when they see characters often. According to the social learning theory, children are likely to imitate behaviors that are frequently and vividly demonstrated. If a cartoon character shares their toys, says sorry for mistakes, and gets praised for good relationships in return, kids can learn that this is acceptable behavior in society. If the characters use violence to settle their differences and keep getting rewarded or successful, kids will also start to think that violence is a good way to solve their problems. So we can see that it is clear that media entertainment not only serves as entertainment, but also offers behavioral models for children to adopt and apply in real-life scenarios at schools, amongst friends, and within families. Worth repeating. Most educational programs for children tend to apply social learning theory through demonstration of positive behavioral examples, like generosity, teamwork, and problem solving. For example, a program could illustrate how characters cooperate to accomplish a task, and through that, children get to learn the importance of cooperation and how good it feels socially. According to my research, this is true because Dittman, 2004, shows how exposure to pro-social media increases the likelihood of pro-social behaviors being demonstrated by children. However, the media can also bring out negative impacts, depending on the nature of what is being modeled. According to Huseman in 2007, the exposure to media that depicts violence increases aggression, particularly where the portrayal of violence lacks any repercussions. The examples presented above show that media is indeed an excellent setting for learning where children keep observing and imitating behaviors. By being aware of how social learning theory works, it will be easier for parents to be mindful of the type of media that their child watches. One way that parents can guide the development of healthy behavior in their child is by choosing programs that always showcase good qualities like sharing, empathy, problem solving, and managing emotions. Parents can also practice co-viewing or viewing media alongside their children and discussing the story. Parents may further emphasize the positive lessons taught through characters by highlighting their positive decisions and giving reasons why these decisions have significance in reality. Lastly, it would be wise for parents to limit their child's exposure to material that promotes violence, disrespect, or any form of stereotype, as these behaviors might be imitated unknowingly by children. The social learning theory suggests that children acquire knowledge by observing others through media and modeling their behavior, particularly if that behavior is reinforced and constantly shown. Since children are easily affected by what they view on screen, media can be an effective tool in encouraging both good and bad behavior. Learning about this theory will allow parents to make better choices regarding their children's exposure to media and promote healthy media consumption. Media can serve a dual purpose when guided appropriately. A question I have for you guys is, what messages and behaviors is your child learning from the media that they watch every day? Lastly, these are the sources that I use to gather my information to present this slideshow. Thank you for listening.